ingredients for our recipe for baked macaroni and cheese. So you're going to need some oil spray, 3 cups of cheese, 1 cup of panko or breadcrumbs. We're using 2 cooked chicken breasts, which have been prepared according to one of our other videos, which we'll throw in the description for you how to prep chicken. 2 cups of macaroni, 4 tablespoons of butter. We're using salted butter. 3 tablespoons of flour, 2 cups of milk, and then we're going to use salt, pepper, and garlic and onion powder and season to taste. Probably about half a teaspoon or so of each, but season to taste what you like. So these are all our ingredients. Let's go ahead and we'll get started. So first we'll go ahead and we'll preheat the oven to 350. So we're going to start our pasta. We're going to put our 2 cups of elbow macaroni into a medium-sized pot with water and get those boiling. I'm going to heat this on my small burner. I'm going to salt that water. We do want to generously salt that water just so that it helps the macaroni cook and it makes it taste a little bit better as well. So we'll get that boiling. And while that is boiling in this pot, we're going to start melting some butter. But really quickly before we do that, we're going to prep our 2-quart dish that we're going to put this in just by using that spray oil. And that'll be ready later when we need it. Now we're going to take 3 tablespoons of the 4 that we have of butter, and we're going to start melting that in a big pot that can fit these noodles once they're cooked, as well as all of our cheese and milk and everything else. And I'll just measure out my noodles, that way I have those ready to pour into there once my water is boiling. So we'll put the big pot on low, medium, low, so that we can start to brown that butter. So we'll add our 3 tablespoons of flour to the melted butter. And then we're going to whisk that together. And this flour and butter is just going to make a paste, and we're going to keep stirring that around and keep browning that for 1 to 2 minutes until that 1 to 2 minutes is up, or until it has a nice golden brown color. I am going to set a timer for the pasta, and I'm going to set mine for 6 minutes because I do like a little bit firmer pasta. And we're going to bake this as well. So because we're going to be baking it after, I don't want to overcook the pasta here and then also bake it. So I only do about 5 or 6 minutes. There we go. That's the color that I'm looking for here. So now what we're going to do is get our 2 cups of milk poured out so that once this is ready, we can add the milk to this mixture. Then we're going to make the base for our cheese sauce. So we're just going to whisk in that 2 cups of milk. And you definitely don't want to go too fast while you're doing this, because if you add too much milk too quickly, then you will get a really runny sauce. If you are in a hurry and you don't want to spend as much time on this, you can just add all the milk at once and incorporate it into this butter flour mixture. It will still come together and it will bake nicely, but it will be just a little bit less creamy and a little bit more runny cheese sauce. So it's just kind of a preference thing. Our pasta is almost done. And once ever that timer is done, we're going to start this timer here for 6 minutes to cook this milk mixture. So we'll set our timer again for 6 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and take the pasta off and we'll drain it and just return it back to the pot. So we'll just drain our noodles completely, and we're going to add that remaining 1 tablespoon of butter We're going to stir it all together, and that's going to keep these noodles from sticking while we are working on the cheese sauce. We're going to turn up the heat just a little bit to just above medium. And we're going to start to season this cheese sauce base here. So we're going to add our salt, our pepper, our onion powder, our garlic powder to this so that it can cook that flavor in. So I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and I'm going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. I'm just going to do salt and pepper, eyeball it, I guess. We're going to keep whisking that so that nothing gets burnt or anything like that. So once the whole thing is kind of bubbling everywhere, that's when we're going to add our cheese. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So it's nice and thick. You can kind of see it looks like a gravy sauce almost. Now that we're at that consistency, we're going to take our first cup of our shredded cheese and just add that to it. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat as well, but I'm going to leave it on the burner that's still warm. And then we'll go get our second cup of cheese. And I'm only going to do 2 cups in the sauce, and then I'm going to add the other cup once we put it in the casserole dish. So we really want to incorporate this cheese, get it all completely melted, because we're going to add the fresh cheese to it, but we want the sauce to be really creamy. So you don't want, perfect timing, you don't want the cheese chunks in here to still be there. You want to get those whisked away so it's nice and smooth. We'll go ahead and stir those noodles together. We'll just pour that in there. We're just going to incorporate the cheese sauce with the noodles. Now what we're going to do is kind of put together our casserole. So now that we have this saucy, cheesy, noodly mix, I'm going to add my pre-prepared shredded chicken. All right, I'm just going to scoop about half into the casserole dish. And we're just going to take 1/2 cup of our cheese, cover that layer, and then we'll just go ahead and put the rest on top. A little bit of mac and cheese ASMR. Just kidding. Okay, so we'll go ahead and spread that out. All right, we'll do that last 1/2 cup of cheese or so to cover the top. I'm going to use a little bit more cheese because we like cheese at our house, if you know us. And if you don't know, go back and watch some more videos and you'll definitely find out. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to take our cup or so of breadcrumbs. So it depends on if you like them or not. I do like breadcrumbs on my macaroni, so I like to use a bit more. You know, maybe use less if you don't like it as much, but I'm going to cover this top layer with panko. Alrighty, and now we're all set. So we're going to go ahead and pop this in the oven at 350 for about 20-25 minutes. And we're looking for bubbling cheese sauce around the edge, and that will let us know that it's done. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes, so we're going to check on it. Smells good. Just kidding. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it's bubbling. We've got a little bit on the sides here. We can see it's bubbling kind of along here. So we've got that nice hot cheesy sauce in there. So everything's all set. You can see the breadcrumbs are a little bit browned. You can broil that a little bit if you want a deeper, like, cooked top, but I think this is perfect for us. So we're going to let this cool off at least 20 minutes or so, and we'll take a nice scoop out of there. You can see what it looks like. I know that's what you've been waiting for. Let me see it. So it's been about 20 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and dish up. So you can kind of see that creamy, cheesy sauce, a little bit of chicken, got our breadcrumbs. Yes, a little bit warm still, but very good. Perfect amount of chicken. The garlic and onion powder complement the chicken well, and a little bit of crunchy top. I just love that little bit of panko on the top. So good. Yeah, I think it's definitely not the easiest casserole to make, but honestly pretty easy to make, all things considered. And now Jesse has lunch for the week.
Do a dance? Mommy home snack, mommy home snack, mommy home snack.